Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Morfides. I am a certified wellness counselor and life skills coach, and we are working on changing our self-concept to reflect such beliefs such as I am worthy, I am lovable, and today's topic or idea, core belief, self-concept we're going to be focusing on is I am enough. I am enough. And not just enough, I am good enough right now in this present moment, exactly as I am, exactly with the amount of, gray hairs that I have, or pounds that I have, or life experience that I have, job that I am in, relationship that I am in, thoughts that I have, feelings that I have, things that I've done. You are enough in this exact moment, not only to be accepting of yourself fully, but also to know that you are worthy and enough of receiving exactly what it is that you want to be receiving, and perhaps you might not be receiving in this moment. And what would that be? Connection, to be cherished. Maybe you're seeking for commitment. Maybe satisfaction in areas of your life that you haven't had a chance to feel that in. Whatever it is that you are seeking, you are enough and you are good enough right in this moment, exactly as you are, to be receiving that. One of the most unhelpful core beliefs, aka self-concepts, that we can acquire as children as we develop those lenses of perception called core beliefs, because all youth will develop an attachment style while growing up, and core beliefs. This is true for everyone. By the age of 12 years old, the latest, you are going to have an attachment style. Either you're going to be anxiously attached, avoidant attached, disorganizedly attached, or securely attached. A little bit over 50% of the population will fall into the three categories that are not securely attached. So that will come with core beliefs, aka self-concept. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm bound to be rejected, bound to be alone. I am defective. It all depends on what life experience as a child brought you to that attachment style in the first place. For example, for me, when I went back to school in my early 40s to become a counselor, actually it was right on my 40th birthday, because I promised myself when I reach 40 I will live my life differently than I had done up to that moment, because I started to understand the law of attraction, law of assumption, and all these beautiful laws that exist naturally in our universe. I had to take an adverse childhood evaluation test, and we found out that I was an 8 out of 10. So the higher you score closer to 10, or the higher number you have, the more trauma or wounding you have received as a child, because it tests things like physical abuse, emotional abuse, suicide within your family, sexual abuse as a child. It tests all these things. And if you score 2 or more, the chances that you're going to have unhelpful core beliefs in there are really high. So I was an 8 out of 10. I have then I took an attachment style test. I determined to have an anxious personality, which made so much sense to me and how I was showing up in my romantic relationships. Always fearful that I was going to be left, always fearful that I was going to be abandoned, rejected, not worthy to be fully loved. Exactly what I lived as a child. The abandonment issues that I received from my father going overseas to make money for his family, but I didn't know that. I just knew that he was gone for a long time, and my mom not being able to be there for us emotionally. And then I was just kind of left behind to sort of not raise myself, but like fend for myself. I feel all those experiences, I now know for a true fact, they're the ones that led me to believe I'm not enough to be loved. I'm not good enough to be cherished. I'm not good enough to be protected. I'm not good enough to be listened to. And I'm just not enough. I'm not a good person. Therefore, I'm not worthy of anything other than I'm just receiving right now. And I continued to anxiously want to receive that reassurance as an adult from my romantic relationships, which of course will never work because it needs to come from within. And naturally, because I was an anxiously attached person, I would draw in someone who is an avoidant because that's the only way that I would know that I'm an anxious. Because if an anxious brought in another anxious, they would both just be anxiously attached to each other, and that would be a disaster of a symbiotic relationship, because there will be no self-independence. There will be codependency is not what you want to be in a relationship. You want to be completely independent, but coming together to enhance each other and help each other become your best versions. So me realizing that I am enough exactly as I am right now, even last night, I had these thoughts. My not enoughness will come in and creep in, that I might not be enough to be loved fully by, for me, it's always the romantic relationships. Sometimes it's work, but not really. There's only one particular area of my work life that I feel that I'm not good enough. But usually for me, it's romantic connections, and it's my relationship that I have with the masculine. And then even last night, I'm feeling these things, and then I have to rewire my mind all the time and think different thoughts. Because even this morning, I'm looking at myself in the mirror when I'm waking up, and I feel like I don't look good enough because my hair is not brushed and whatever. Like, I feel like I just don't look like I'm enough to be loved in that state, or to be looked at with desire, or yeah. And then there's little thoughts of like, not jealousy, but like, what if I'm not enough, and then my partner wants to look at something that looks better than me. These kind of thoughts kind of crept into my mind today, and then I have to like rewire my brain and affirm the complete opposite. No, I am enough to be loved exactly as I look in this moment. I don't have to have my hair fully brushed, or exactly as I am when I wake up in the morning with crusties in my eyes. I am worthy to be loved in that moment as much as I would be worthy to be loved and cherished and adored and pursued as I would be when I'm like super fully dressed up. It doesn't matter. Accepting myself in that particular moment at any time of day is the biggest gift that I can give to myself. And I'm just gonna whip out the map of consciousness again, which is something that was developed by Dr. David B. Hawkins. Because we are an energetic universe, and everything, we're made up out of like atoms, protons, electrons, neutrons. We're vibrating constantly. Like, we have and then we emit energy, which is emotion. Energy in motion is emotion, and based on that emotion is how we draw in our life experiences naturally by the law of attraction, because laws of chemistry, basic Newton's law, like attracts like. So our chemistry will attract that which it is. That's how the laws of chemical substances work. And for lack of better words, we are a chemical substance as well, because we are made up of atoms, electrons, protons, and neutrons, which have charge and are constantly vibrating at all times. Everything. This computer is made out of the same protons, neutrons, electrons, everything. Our bed, this thing is standing on, like everything. We are constantly in vibration, and we emit a certain type of frequency, which is measured in hertz. And this frequency is the one that determines our predominant emotion. And remember, our predominant emotions, how we are feeling, because emotions produce feelings, is that particular thing that will bring in our experiences. It's the key to manifestation of our reality. So if I am not accepting myself and I'm, fearful of the way that I look, that I might not be fully, like I'm not enough in this moment, I'm going to be riding a frequency of 100, with the highest being up to 1000. And my predominant emotion is going to be anxiety, of course. I'm anxiously attached, or I should say. So I'm always anxious, and my body is in constant fight or flight. Therefore, I'm not settled. Like, I'm not a settled human being, because I'm always in that state of fight or flight. My sympathetic system is always working, which prevents my body then to do the natural things that it wants to do, like rest and digest and absorb all the nutrients from my food properly, circulate my blood properly. Because I'm using my energy now. We only have a certain amount of energy, like our mitochondria that live in our human body cells only produce a certain amount of ADPs, which are the little things that give off like energy for our cells to do the processes that our body needs. But if I'm using all that up to calm myself down, to go from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic nervous system, because of my anxiety that I'm bound to be rejected, I'm bound to be alone, I'm not enough, I need to do this in order to be loved, I need to look this way, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do more, blah, 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 blah. I am wasting my precious energy that my cells are producing day in and day out to calm myself down, as opposed to doing the things. And of course, then I'm going to have issues such as, I'm sorry if TMI, such as constipation or low blood pressure. Like, these are the things that my body suffered from because I wasn't allowing it to have enough energy to do what it needed to do. Therefore, I would have dis-ease in my body. So if I'm like feeling guilt and shame, even lower, 30 to 20. And then my predominant emotion is blame, humiliation. And then my life view is evil and miserable. If I'm fearful about who I am, my life view is frightened. But now, if I start to accept myself, accept me exactly as I am in this moment, my frequency will raise to 350. And then my emotion is going to be forgiveness, which is huge. Accepting ourselves and forgiving everything that we want to guilt and shame ourselves for, or a life experience that brought us to today. We talked about forgiveness before. This is big. Or accepting you as you are, exactly as you are. You are going to be in a life view of a harmonious living, and your frequency is up there. And then if you go a little bit more up and you start to really love yourself, no matter what you look like, no matter what you've been, like, just completely unconditionally love yourself, your frequency is now 500. Your predominant emotion is reverence, and your life view is benign. And how beautiful is that? That you feel peace, acceptance, joy, of exactly as you are in this moment. And every time you get a thought that wants to bring you back into guilt and shame, that you just push that away and you remind yourself that no, you are enough exactly as you are in this moment to fully receive everything that it is that you want to receive. Remember, you are a co-creator of your life. You have the power at any moment given in time to reprogram your mind and reprogram your life. The mind is the most powerful thing. I'm going to link this meditation that I did last night, actually. And this woman is amazing. She speaks, because every time before I go to bed, I usually do put on a meditation because I want to get out of my head. I tend to think about things still myself that want to, keep me in anxiety and or rumination and a state of not gratitude and joy. So I ask God, creator, universe, just to bless me whatever they think I need to hear in the moment when I open up my YouTube. So this beautiful meditation popped up to actually affirm I am statements, which was very befitting given the thoughts that I was having earlier, as I shared before. And this is in conjunction with our sacral chakra, which is our second chakra. It's the one that sits right below your belly button. That's your energetic center that is focused on your self-view. And I know that my self-view has suffered because I've had a lot of tummy issues as well with bloating, because I wasn't really accepting who I was, because I thought that I was just not enough, not good enough, and judging myself of like my life experiences and what brought me to today. So my point of that was, this woman in this meditation, she was talking about that beautiful triangle that I referenced to: thoughts, emotions, behaviors. Our thoughts elicit emotions, drive our behaviors. Behaviors will elicit, again, thoughts, emotions, behaviors. So she talks about this triangle, and if you manage to reprogram your thoughts, because remember, our thoughts are 95% running subconsciously. So it's fantastical and amazing to be able to consciously put yourself in a meditative state, like a lot of YouTubers say, like Shirley Bullard, of like having a self-concept that you feel cherished, loved, pursued, wanted, all these things. You are in a state of feeling that. If you manage to go a step further and use cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, to actually touch upon your thoughts, which produce your emotions, which are 95% automatic, if we can manage to work with those and get out of an attachment style that produces an negative self-view and negative core beliefs, then we can always be in a good feeling state about ourselves automatically and subconsciously without even putting in the effort. And that is when we can manifest the best version of our reality, because we are constantly immersed in that, even when we're not consciously thinking about it, if that made sense. So by affirming all the time, I am enough, I am lovable, I am worthy, I am good enough, I am enough. If you affirm these all the time and reprogram your subconscious mind and the way that you are, thinking and feeling right now, predominantly about yourself, you can have that experience subconsciously all the time on its own without you having to do the conscious part of it and like get yourself into that state. I hope that I explained that properly, because our thoughts are automatic and autonomic processes that happen constantly all the time. We have thousands of thoughts a day, and we have the power to filter our thoughts, choose our thoughts, and reprogram our mind, which will lead to the thoughts that it produces. That's our superpower. So if you imagine that you are the one that listens to your thoughts and you see all these thoughts going by like cars all the time, it's like this really busy highway in our mind. You choose what car you want to get into. You choose what thought is in alignment with what you want to live. They don't choose. We get to choose. You are the one that listens to the thought. That's your superpower. That's my superpower. I am so happy that I know that now, because I don't have to live my life like I did before. And I am so thankful and grateful. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me for another episode of healing and creating a self-concept, core beliefs that are more in alignment of a securely attached person who knows that they are enough and worthy and lovable and amazing exactly as they are right now in this moment, because you have forgiven yourself, you love yourself, everything. Anything that has brought you to where you are today, you are in acceptance of everything played out exactly as it was meant to, and nothing would have served you to be different. Because if you're wishing for something to be different, then you're not accepting who you are fully. Therefore, you're rejecting parts of yourself and resisting, and resistance will cause persistence. And then persistence is there because it really wants to heal that part of the self that is not accepting. So it's like this vicious cycle. So acceptance, you are enough exactly as you are right now. You are good enough. That's your birthright. You were born that way. You knew that you're good enough to cry if you were thirsty or hungry or anything. You knew that you were worthy and enough, good enough, exactly as you are. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful again for this opportunity. Thank you to all my beautiful subscribers, viewers, even if you're just clicking on for a minute, the full thing. I'm so grateful. If you want to get in touch with me, all my information is below. If you wanted to subscribe, if you're new and you haven't, please, I would love for you to be part of this channel and hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I also do love hearing from you, comments, questions, concerns, anything that I'm saying that might not be in alignment. I love to hear that too. I love to always be challenged and learn more. And yeah, that's it. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.